This is Nadir Shah in Chicago, and you're watching my channel Knowledge for Quality of Life. Friends, today I decided to do this vlog dedicate on my perspectives towards proactive healthcare. And we all have our own perspectives towards education, towards personal finance, towards healthcare, and towards many other aspects of life. So I thought that I'm going to be sharing my perspective towards proactive healthcare since I've been doing a little over a year the series of vlogs on healthcare topics uh, pertaining towards proactive healthcare. And some of you may be thinking that, where I'm coming from. So I thought that, it's a good idea to share my perspective towards proactive healthcare. So let me share my screen so that, you can see my bullet points. And if somebody wants to ponder some thoughts after listening to this and put the comments in the section below, you are more than welcome. So my first first point is health is a gift. You can take in the context of health or life is a gift, and we try to preserve it to the best of our ability. It's a nature's gift. Health is wealth, as we have heard so many times. The second is that just like we keep our house clean from all the garbage and junk because we all are living in it, we must keep our health, our body, in the best state of health since the soul resides in it. Now, this is a responsibility for all of us to take care of our health in a way it was given to us, because at the end of the day, healthy person can do many aspects of life in taking care of things. Third, mostly people do not think that much about state of their health as they think about the importance of education and financial security or personal finance in their lives. And we have heard so many times, we have seen so many times that, if I were to ask you a question that how many times on a dinner table or lunch table you discuss the state of the health amongst the family members and the remedies which one should be taking it, or some proactive measures. We always hear about education, we always hear about personal finance, and by no means I'm saying that those are not important factors. Remember that these three parameters, education, personal finance, and health, is they are very crucial in having a good quality of life for an individual. So this is very important as well. Now, mostly people are reactive as opposed to proactive when it comes to healthcare. We have seen it. If you observed, I have observed many times throughout my life that we don't preempt when it comes to healthcare, conditions. That how we are going to mitigate certain things towards healthcare. We don't plan for healthcare. When I'm talking about planning for healthcare, I don't mean to have a health insurance or health coverage. I'm talking about state of one's health, mitigating how to mitigate the condition of one's health and how to take proactive measures towards the better health. Remember that doctors are there to provide us healthcare. Doctor can give only healthcare, but they cannot provide us health. We have to create a partnership with the doctors, with the healthcare professionals. Regular annual checkups to monitor the state of one's health. Now, this is very crucial. We've been told oftentimes that we have to go for regular annual checkups. Now, I've heard this thing since 1989, and I've been doing it. And over the years, I question myself that the standard health checks which I go through as part of the physical, is it good enough? Is it going to predict that what my state of the health is going to be 5 years from now or 10 years from now? Is it going to be telling me enough information? And science and technology is evolving over the years dramatically. Every second, every minute, every day, it's been changing. More innovative procedures are coming into place. More innovative tests are coming into place. So are we on the top of that cutting edge? And are we utilizing those marker tests? So, and one group thinks that, it's just like going to a car mechanic, that, if you go for a certain issue, the mechanic is going to bring it out furthermore, a couple of more issues that, you have this bad, you have this bad, and, you end up with a big bill. So we try to cut corners, to avoid going to the mechanic. And sometimes, people say the same analogy that, if we go to the doctor, of course, doctor is going to bring one issue, and, I go for one issue, and then many other issues are going to open up. It's just like we are going to open a can of worms. But that's not the point here. The point is that, there are certain diseases which we normally call nowadays non-communicable diseases, which are very insidious in nature. They are harboring in us without us knowing that it's there. By the time we realize that, certain type of symptoms comes at the surface and we go to a doctor, sometimes it's too late, or disease is already inside us. So what I'm trying to do, that, as part of my family, my practice, that we are doing all these tests, which I have shared in one of the vlog, and I will share, pick one test and define, as I've been doing it, that why we have to do these tests, for what reason, and if we don't do it, what kind of a consequences we may end up in. So take these vlogs as a part of the sharing knowledge, nothing else. You can bring it out with your doctor, with your healthcare professional, have a discussion, have a partnership, form a partnership. Because, remember, at the end of the day, your health care professional or your doctor or your primary care doctor is going to provide you a health care, but he or she cannot provide you a health. At the end of the day, we all are own in charge, and we have to take, matters into our hand, as a lead role, so to speak. The next point is lifespan versus health span. Remember that, we don't control lifespan. We have two ends, the point A and point B. A being the time of birth and B being time of death. These two endpoints are controlled by the nature. We don't have any control whatsoever. But the line in between, we have certain extent of control in our hands. How we are going to lead our life, how we are going to lead our health, take care of our health, how we are going to take a proactive role for our health so we remain in a good condition as we age. Because, aging, we cannot defy aging. Everybody has to age, right? It's a natural phenomena. But how we can age gracefully without any troubles, taking too many drugs, too many prescription, and remain in the state of the health so that, we can do our due diligence, other responsibilities to the best of our abilities, right? So this is lifespan we don't control. We are talking about health span here. And remember that, health span is totally correlated with the quality of life. Because no matter how much you care for yourself health-wise, right? I'm just going in the car, and the moment I sit behind the wheel and I'm on the expressway and somebody hits me, I'm done, right? So that is beyond my control. I cannot control that, right? Similarly, if we hear people die in an air traffic accident or any sudden death, which we don't have any control over it. What we are talking about here, no lifespan, all-cause mortality is, a natural way of dying, by natural death, sudden death, it's beyond our control. What we are talking about here, to focus on as much as possible to have a better health span so that we can lead a best quality of life. So please, please make sure that you keep this separate. By no means I'm doing these series of vlogs that I'm trying to be immortal, or I'm advocating that how one can be immortal by doing this testing or living a healthy life. No, by no means I have this objective, because this is something beyond human control, right? So the only thing which we have inherited amongst other living beings is intellect. So use your intellect wisely, right? That's all I'm saying. So make sure that you distinguish between these 2 points, that one is lifespan, the other is health span. And we've been talking about to improve the health span so that we can eventually improve the quality of life in doing so. The next point is our family and loved ones are dependent on the condition of our health. Remember that, this is, I see it on a daily basis, in my surroundings. I'm a very keen observer, and I see all the time, people saying that, death is going to be certain. So, whenever my time is up, it's going to be up. It's not in my hand, right? So I can leave. They try to find a scapegoat by saying that, I can leave the way I want, or, it doesn't matter. If my time is up, nobody can save me, and I'm going to die anyways, right? So it's not, again, I'm going to the same point. It's not about living or dying. It's about striving for having a good health span. That's what we are striving for. That's what we are going after. Living a healthy span life in order to achieve a better quality of life. Remember this thing, that look at people who are terminally sick, and by no means I'm saying that by doing everything in our hand, health protocol and healthy lifestyle, and nothing can happen to anyone. No, by no means I'm saying that. There are some natural calamity. There is a natural test which comes in a godly manner, which everybody has to go through. Prophets have gone through those kind of tests. So we are just a common human being. We may have to go through, but what I'm saying is that whatever is in our hand, to the best of our ability, we should use our own intellect and try to mitigate at our level. If it's in my fate as a natural test, so be it, which we don't have any control over. But what I'm saying that, remember that, people who are going to be, if I'm going to be sick down the line, and I become a liability to my family members, think of it as a doing a favor to the loved ones, right? So if I'm self-centered and I'm thinking about me, that I need to do the way I want, it means that I'm just thinking about myself only. I'm not thinking about my loved ones, right? Because it's going to be a detrimental disaster for my loved ones if I become the liability on them, right? So what we are trying to do here, what I'm trying to do to the best of my ability, is I don't become a liability to my family. That's all I'm doing. And that's what I'm sharing with you guys. So next point is, so this is my request that, think about it. These points, these perspectives I'm laying out here, just food for thought. And put your comments and have a discussion a little bit, and I completely understand that these are my perspective. People have their own perspective, and that's fine, completely fine. But I just wanted to have some food for thought here in this vlog, so that people realize that where I'm coming from, why I'm saying these for the last almost a year about these series of vlogs on healthcare. So people understand that what my perspectives are, right? So that's the reason I just did this vlog, to share some of my perspective. And we have to respect all our perspective. You may have your own perspective. That's fine, perfectly fine. But I respect your perspective. But I thought that I'm going to share my perspective here as well, so that you understand that why I'm doing this series of vlog, what I learned over the last years, and why I'm sharing through this channel, so that I can leave some footprint as a consumer for other consumers like me. The last one is healthy person can fulfill responsibility of both worlds, materially and spiritually, right? Because we have two aspects of life, this material life and our spiritual life. A healthy person can do many things, fulfill all the liabilities, whatever the liabilities we have, whatever the responsibilities we have as a material and as a spiritual. Because at the end of the day, remember that we all have our souls inside our body, whether we call it soul, whether we call it ruh, whether we call it atma. We are all having this soul in our body, and we are all responsible for both material and spiritual world. Let me stop share my screen here. So these are the few thoughts I had, and I thought that I'm going to share with you all. And please have a discussion. What your perspectives, what your thoughts are, and if you think that these are the some thoughts which you can relate to your family members, you can connect to it. You are more than welcome to leave the comments in this comment section, and I'll try to respond it. But hopefully going forward, I will be doing the list which I shared with you earlier in one of the vlog, all these different tests. I'll be picking one test and explaining that what I did for myself and my family, and if we were short, how I rectified it without going through the pill. Because this is the first option which we have, using our own intellect. And remember that those days are gone. By all means, those days are gone that people used to think that knowledge is monopolized. There's no monopoly on knowledge anymore. If I can find things about this, anybody can. It just needs a little discipline and a little bit persistency. That's all it is. It's not a rocket science. And we are talking about taking care of our health. We are not talking about here, replacing our doctors. No, by no means I'm saying that. Because, my doctor I see once a year, in the month of March, at the end of March, and I do my annual physical, and I normally hand him, series of tests, about 25, 30 tests, and that's about it. And I just monitor those markers on a yearly basis. And if I see something, then I bring it out to his attention, and then we work on it. But so far so good. But there was one issue with my wife, and we brought it up, and we fixed it without going through the pill, which I'll share on due course. So this is all about sharing of knowledge. This channel is about sharing of knowledge. By no means I'm recommending anybody anything, but whatever I have gained, I'm trying to share through this platform. This is my responsibility as a community member and as a community learner, that I don't hoard anything to myself. If I've benefited. And it's not only healthcare. When we'll talk about personal finance, when we'll talk about education, I have gained a lot. I have saved a lot. So I'm going to share in due course everything, whatever I have learned and I have gained. Think of my each vlog as a page of my life's book. So this is why I'm doing it. Actually, I'm doing it for myself and my generations and my community members. So hopefully I'll see you next time with a set of vlog, maybe one or two different tests in lumped with one vlog. Until then, goodbye.